5 and 6 and welcome back to our 2-week RE learning journey. What is Hinduism? You'll notice that this is video number 3 in our sequence. So if you haven't done video number 1 or number 2 yet, please go back to our YouTube channel and access those. They're all listed under our RE playlist. You'll be able to find everything that you need. Okay, so what is Hinduism? This is a 2-week RE learning journey. And we're going to continue our work today, our learning, in the same place that we started earlier this week. That could be your yellow exercise book or an exercise book you've got at home. It could be on paper. However you choose to do it, please keep it all together, keep it nice and safe and organised. And just like earlier this week, all you're going to need is a pencil, a ruler and your red pen or coloured pen for underlining. Later in the video you might decide that you want to use some coloured pencils, but they're not essential. So let's have a quick recap then. Our question that we are going to answer at the end of next week is, what is Hinduism? And the learning objectives that we are going to cover are here. So we've got 5 main learning objectives. Number 1, we've already covered earlier in this week. So hopefully you're feeling confident now that you can explain the main beliefs in Hinduism. Today we're going to be thinking about these special places, which are special to Hindus and why they are special to Hindus. And then next week we're going to be naming and describing some special Hindu festivals. We're going to explain why Hindus have multiple holy books. And we're going to name and explain the meanings of some Hindu symbols. So by next Friday, we'll have an understanding or a greater understanding of what is Hinduism. Okay, let's get started then. So turn to a clean page in your exercise book, please, year 5 and 6, or find a clean, neat piece of paper. And you'll need to start by writing our learning objective for today at the top of your piece of paper or in your book and today's date. So our learning objective is LO: I can explain which places are special to Hindus and why. And then I've written Wednesday the 24th of February as the date. It might not be the date that you're accessing this video, and that's perfectly okay. Just write in the date that you are doing your work on today. Okay, not forgetting that the day of the week is a proper noun, so it will need a capital letter, and the month is also a proper noun and will need a capital letter. Okay, take your time, year 5 and 6, just to write that in, check your spelling, check your handwriting's joined up, and then when you're ready, come back to the video, please. Okay, welcome back. Hopefully you've got the learning objective and the date at the top of your page. So our success criteria today, the 2 things we're going to need to do to be able to achieve our learning objective are, so first of all, we're going to make sure that we can identify where Hindus worship, so the places that they worship in. Then our next step will be to explain the similarities and differences between worshipping at a mandir and at home. Okay, so this vocabulary here, this word is pronounced as mandir. Okay, so to get our brains warmed up, we're going to pop our thinking caps on, and I've given you some pictures and names of world religions here, year 5 and 6. So can you match the places of worship to the correct religion? If you pause the video now, give yourselves a couple of minutes if you need it, see if you can match them all up, and then come back and we'll see how many you got correct. Welcome back, year 5 and 6. So let's have a go at matching. So Christianity, Christians worship in a church, that's right. Judaism, so Jews worship in a synagogue. Sikhism, Sikhs worship in a gurdwara. Hinduism, Hindus worship in a mandir. Buddhists worship in a pagoda. Islam, Muslims worship in a mosque. Okay, well done everybody. Hopefully that's got your brain awake now and you're ready to begin with our learning objective. So, first of all, we're going to identify where Hindus worship. Now, all Hindus worship one or more of the deities. Can you remember what a deity is, year 5 and 6? That's right, a deity is a god or goddess, and you'll remember that Hinduism is a unique religion and that it's polytheism, so that means that the Hindus worship one or more gods. Now, it doesn't matter which god or deity that Hindus are worshipping, as they are all seen to represent different aspects of the one supreme god. And I wonder if you can remember his name. It begins with a B. Giving you a moment to think. Braham. Well done, everybody. Okay, so worship is called puja. Okay, so when a Hindu is worshipping, it is called puja. And puja involves praying to an image or an icon of a deity. So that could be a statue, a painting. And I wonder if anybody can remember what a Hindu would call that image of a deity. It begins with an M. We'll come to that later. Puja also involves giving offerings to the deity. So that could be a gift of water, fruit, and other such things. Okay, so arati is a ritual part of the worship performed at the end of the puja. Okay, so you can see there's a tray here with a little light on or a lamp. Okay, now this is lit and it is circled around the deity. Okay, so somebody would hold this and move it in a circle around the deity. As it moves around the deity, it's thought that the light acquires or gains the power of the deity. And then any person can cup their hands over the flame and raise their palms to their forehead. And Hindus believe this transfers the blessing from the deity to them via the flame. And this is performed at the end of each puja. Okay, so this brings us on to a mandir, and we talked a little bit about a mandir. So a mandir is a Hindu place of worship, and the word mandir means gladdening. Now, all Hindus worship daily at home, and they have a shrine at home, which could be a small room, an altar, pictures, or even a statue. Families will worship together at home. Now, most families will attend, certainly if they live in a Western country, so the United Kingdom for example, most families will attend a mandir once a week, normally at the weekend. However, if the Hindu lives in India, Asia, or a country where Hinduism is practiced more regularly, then they would visit certainly during the week as well. Now, not all, so mandirs, they don't all look the same. And that's because, just like we were saying before, that Hindus don't always have the exact same beliefs, mandirs are influenced by the country that they are in, the country's culture and the society, not just the religion. So this here is the largest temple in Indonesia. Now, worshipping at the mandir is thought to be a special time where you come together with other Hindus. And you'll notice when we looked at the pictures of other mandirs earlier in the week, that you may have noticed that they're very, very tall buildings. And this is because Hindus see them as a place where heaven meets the earth. And they build them fairly tall so that they are like mountains reaching up into the sky. Okay, I'm going to ask you now, Year 5 and 6, to watch a video. Now, to access the video, all you need to do is go to Google. Okay, I'm sorry you can't see all the page here, but what I've typed into Google is, you can see here, I've typed Religious Studies Key Stage 2 inside a Hindu temple. And then the first one that comes up, Year 5 and 6, you can click on that one. Oh no, sorry, it's the second one, my mistake, the second one. And then if you scroll down, you'll see a video that's called Inside a Hindu Temple. And it comes up, it looks like this, and you can play it. Okay, so I'd like you now to watch that video. It's only a few minutes long, and I have saved this one as well in our YouTube playlist. So if you find it easier to go back to YouTube, there's another way that you can access it. So once you've watched this video, I'd like you just to think about what special features do you notice about the Hindu temple or the mandir. Okay, off you go, Year 5 and 6. Come back when you're ready, please. Okay, welcome back. So what did you notice? A few things that I noticed then, and these are, like I say, just a few of the features. I'm sure you noticed many more. So I noticed that there was a shoe rack, and that Hindus are expected to store their shoes before entering the mandir. Now, I asked you earlier, Year 5 and 6, if you could remember the name that Hindus give their statues or their icons of the deities. Marathi, hopefully you've remembered that one. If not, you probably might have spotted it in that video. And then I also noticed that the main feature of the mandir is the shrine. And the shrine is the heart of the temple. And it's there to represent the heart of the worshipper. And this is usually the biggest shrine. And it's at the front of the temple. And the building's normally designed that your eyes are drawn to this main shrine in the centre. Did you spot anything different then, Year 5 and 6? Okay, we're going to think about now then home shrines. And we're going to be thinking about how do the Hindu family pray to their gods, and how is a home shrine similar or different to worshipping at a mandir. Now again, I've got another video for you to watch. So if you read here, you've got puja, a form of Hindu worship, Key Stage 2 religious education. So again, if you type that into Google, the first video that comes up is this one, and then you'll be able to find the video. It's about 2 minutes long, and you'll be able to play it and watch that at home. And there's a young man that talks you through what his family experience at home as part of puja. Okay, so when you've watched the video, Year 5 and 6, do come back to me and we'll be ready to continue. Okay, welcome back then. So, how do the Hindu family pray to their gods in the video? And how is this home shrine similar or different to the worshipping at mandir? Okay, some of the things that I noticed then, that Hindus can worship both at home and at a mandir. When they make offerings to the gods, this can also be done at home. I noticed that in a Hindu home, there may be a shrine or a focal point for prayer and offerings. And I noticed that the shrine could be as big as a room or just a small corner and a statue. And I noticed that for a family, this could be considered as their main shrine, very similar to a temple. Okay, so this is our activity for today then. So you'll remember that we are explaining which places are special to Hindus and why. We've identified where Hindus can worship. We're going to start by, we're going to be thinking about the similarities and differences between worshipping at a mandir and at home. Now, you're going to create a Venn diagram to explain the similarities and differences. I'm going to talk you through how to create your Venn diagram in a moment, but I know lots of you may want to do something extra. So if after you've created your Venn diagram, you want to do an optional extra, then you can research the different offerings that Hindus give as part of puja. Okay, let's have a look at the Venn diagram and the way to go about it. So, in your book, you've already got the learning objective and the date. Now, our first success criteria was explaining where Hindus worship. So, I would start by writing 2 very short sentences into my book. First of all, I'd write a sentence that explains what puja is. So, puja is the name for... Okay, hopefully everyone feels they can end that sentence or complete that sentence. So I'd copy that very carefully into my book and complete the sentence. And then the second thing I would write in is Hindus can worship at, and I'd explain where I know that Hindus can worship. Okay, so what I would do now, year 5 and 6, is I would pause the video if I were you, and I would do those 2 short sentences first, and then come back when you're ready for your Venn diagram. Okay, hopefully you have finished these 2 sentences. So, puja is the name for worship. Hindus can worship at a mandir or at home using a shrine. Now, you might not have written exactly what I've written, okay, but hopefully you've written something very similar. Now, the next thing to do is our Venn diagram. Now, I would start by drawing it very lightly in your book. Okay, you might even decide that you're not going to draw it until after you've finished. On one side, you're going to need to put the heading mandir, and I would underline that if I was you, year 5 and 6, so it's really clear. And then on the other side, you're going to need to put home shrine. So I'm going to let you do that first of all, is just get your Venn diagram ready, and then I can talk you through what I would do next. Okay, year 5 and 6, so hopefully you've drawn very lightly your Venn diagram, and you've got a heading mandir and a heading home shrine. Now, wherever your heading for mandir is, in that part of the circle, you're going to need to record your knowledge of the mandir and how a Hindu worships at the mandir. So, for example, you might write something like removes Hindus remove shoes before entering. Okay, and then on the other side you would write something, actually probably even more importantly before that, what is the mandir? I've missed out a very obvious important part, year 5 and 6. So mandir, a religious temple where Hindus worship. Okay, do they all look the same? Do they look different? Why is that? So there's lots of information that I could actually just put about the temple before I even think about what it's like inside. Okay, a home shrine then. Now, the difference between the home shrine is that it is in a Hindu's home. So let's start by putting that in. A shrine in a Hindu's home for puja or worship. Okay, now we know it could be Could be a small room. It could be a statue or a photo or a picture, sorry. Okay. And then I'm sure there's lots of things that you could add in about home shrine there. And then we're going to think about, what's the same? So in the centre, where the two circles overlap, what is the same? Whether a Hindu worships in the mandir or the home shrine, what stays the same? Well, in the middle of mine, I've put the murtas. And I've put ART. Now, I know that I can't fit all the information in there that I know about these two items. I would run out of room. So what I decided to do is just do a heading that says key vocabulary, followed by a colon. And then I'm just going to explain what I know about these two things. So Marathi is the sacred images of the gods and goddesses. And the ART is a ritual performed at the end of puja. And I could actually say, I could go into more detail, a lamp lit, and I could explain what happens. So if you find yourself running out of room, don't be afraid to do the same as what I've done here. Just do a short explanation underneath your Venn diagram. Okay, year 5 and 6. So hopefully when you finish, you'll have your learning objective and the date at the top. You'll have 2 sentences and you'll have your Venn diagram, possibly a key vocabulary area. Let's have a look then and just round up the lesson before you go off to do that. So by the end of today, you should feel very confident that you can identify where Hindus worship, and you can use your Venn diagram to explain the similarities and differences between worshipping at the mandir and at home. Okay, and you've also got that optional learning activity of researching the different offerings that Hindus give as part of puja if you need an additional task. Now, I'm going to leave it here, year 5 and 6, so that you can make a start. Please share your learning with myself and Mrs. PA on Class Dojo. We really love to see what you've been doing and to give you some feedback. And of course, those all important dojo points so that you can earn your tennis ball. Okay, have a fabulous day, everybody, and I look forward to seeing you very, very soon.